Pregame.com.
Welcome back, Pregame.tv. Steve Fezzik, Brady, Kannon, breaking down NFL action here on Sunday. We're going to start with your Denver Broncos. San Diego Chargers should be a really good game. We have the side and the total recommendations there. First off, we missed Vegas runner again this week. VR is the bubble boy in the Las Vegas Hilton contest. Finished 31st. Out of 10 million people, the top 30 pay, okay, out of 1,000 and some change. And so we will attempt to get VR out of rehab and back in next week. Brady, Kannon, you and me one more time.
Good to see you again, sir.
Happy New Year. Let's get right to it. San Diego Chargers, Denver Broncos, they played twice, each won one in the other team's stadium. A lot of weapons. Chargers offense playing very well.
Yeah, the rubber match here. And real impressive for the Chargers in the wild card round. And I had a feeling that they were going to go in and win that game. And holding Cincinnati to 10 points was not how I saw it happening. We threw out the over here on the videos last week.
Didn't help that the much despised Bernard looked like Ridley fumbling going in.
Correct. And you know, Cincinnati didn't really live up to their part of the deal. You know, scoring 10 points, I expected it to be a much tighter game. I said I didn't expect this game to be decided by a touchdown either way, and if it wasn't, then we would have gotten over the total. But nonetheless, San Diego very impressive, and they move on.
You know, they opened up smash mouth football 8 yards, 6 yards. Yeah. Down the field against the Bengals' supposed stellar defense. So I can't put all the blame on Andy Dalton.
Sure.
Because their defense certainly got gashed. I think 40-plus rushes, 190 yards. But boy, did Dalton play badly.
Yeah, you know, and what you talk about, the Chargers running game, Ryan Matthews has been playing really well. Really, it started with that Denver game when they won at Denver. His ankle's bothering him a little bit. We'll see what he sat out most of the second half in that game against the Bengals. He is supposed to be okay for this week, but Rivers only threw the ball, I think, about 15 or 16 times.
Not too worried about it. Woodhead's playing great, and the third, Ronnie Brown, is playing great. So you've got three.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't need to throw the ball a lot.
Yeah, you got three great running backs. So one of them goes out. I mean, you have three serviceable running backs.
Sure.
And with the depth that the Chargers have, I don't think that will be that much of a big deal. Now, the Chargers going to try to. I know you look at this total. Do you have a concern? Obviously, Denver scores at home.
Right.
Is San Diego going to try to run clock on these guys and really pound the ball, keep it away from Peyton Manning?
I think both teams are going to try to establish the run. That's the motto in the playoffs. And I think they're both going to have some success doing that. And I think that will, in turn, set up these prolific passing games. I mean, you've got two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year.
Classic example, too, possibly with the live wagering. You might see a little sparring, a little running, 7-3 at the end of the first quarter, and then all heck breaks loose midway through the second quarter. With that, you got some technical stuff you're going to share why you like the over?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think, you know, you've got two teams that convert on third down nearly all the time, a couple of the highest in the NFL. You've got yards gained per play, a couple of highest in the NFL. So I think this is going to be a very offensive game. The first time they met in San Diego, it was a little bit slower paced. And then, of course, when San Diego went to Denver, that was a shootout. I think it was 41-38 or something like that.
In the San Diego game, Denver opened up a big lead, and then Manning got hit for a hard sack, and it was like 28-7 at that time, and Denver stopped scoring the whole second half. And so I think that was part of it, that he kind of shut it down. And
I think there's going to be some pressure on Manning to score too. He's read the press clippings that he can't play in cold weather, and he can't win a playoff game, this and that and the other. I think there's going to be an emphasis on scoring points, which is what he does best.
Absolutely. You want to make the total official, and then we'll talk about the side?
Sounds good. Okay, San Diego Chargers Okay, San Diego Chargers visiting the Denver Broncos on Sunday, the divisional round of the playoffs. We talk about how prolific these offenses are. You've got a couple of the best teams as far as offense in the NFL. Two of the highest rated teams on third down conversions, anywhere from 46 to 49% of the time. You've got two teams with the highest yards per play, over 6 yards per play. They've got great receivers, great tight ends, great possession receivers. That's how they're able to stay on the field with their interior offense. They both have good running games as well, averaging over 4 yards per carry. Now, on the flip side, they have a couple of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, and two bad pass defenses rather, going up against a couple of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Peyton Manning, we know about the touchdown record, passer rating of 115. Phillip Rivers was a third highest rated passer in the NFL this year. Last week against the Bengals, only threw it 15 or 16 times, passer rating of 119. So I think both of these teams will try establishing their very solid running games, and if they can get that going, which I expect that they will, it'll open up this passing game, and it could be good night on the scoring. I think there's going to be pressure on Peyton Manning to score because he's heard, the stories that he can't play in cold weather, he can't win a playoff game, what have you. Denver at home, they've been hitting the over like crazy. I think there's going to be pressure on him to score points, and Phillip Rivers is going to have to keep up. Take a look at a couple of the trends. The over is 4-0 in the last 4 Denver Bronco playoff games. The over is 8-1 the last 9 times Denver has played at home against a winning team. And overall, the last 72 Denver Bronco games, the over is hit 69% of the time, 49, 22, and 1. I'm going to stick with that trend. I think, the number, it's pretty high, and it's already been knocked down a tick, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down a little bit more. There is a little bit of a concern of weather. You might wait on this one. Keep an eye on it, but I'm going over 54.5.
Very good. And just some technicals here to back up what you were saying. Quarterback rating, Denver 115, but
Wow.
they give up 84. League average is 86. So,
okay.
In other words, way off the charts, great offense. Defense middle of the pack, but San Diego,
right.
Quarterback rating 105, defensive quarterback rating 96. So
wow.
San Diego is 10 points worse than average, 10 numerics.
Sure.
Worse on the defense.
Below average,
but they're twice as good offensively. So we should see both of these teams getting lots of points. And if the coaches are smart, they'll do what Jimbo Fisher did last night: fake punts. Be aggressive and the like. And in terms of my power ratings, let's talk about the side here. Both teams won at each other's place, so there's no revenge really going on. But I really think these two teams, Denver outplayed San Diego by 1 point in the first 2 games. So
right.
They played 8 quarters, and I have to feel, that really shows San Diego matches up pretty well.
I do, yeah. My numbers come real close in this game as well.
San Diego, I've got them up as a +1 on my power rating. I got Denver as a 7.5. So on a neutral, that would be a 6.5 point favorite. I'll give Denver 3.
Line's real close.
I'll give Denver 3.5 for home field. That gets it to 10. But then whenever you go above 6, you get a regression that kicks in. Mm-hmm. So I only make the game like 8.5. So I can tell you right now, there's still some 10s out there, and those will not last. So it's it's one of those situations. Sometimes I say, sit back, relax. You can bet this, on game day. This is not one. I really think that the past problems that Denver's had, they played so tight against Baltimore last year, and I could see that happening again. All the burden of the pressure is on them, and as long as I can get 10, I'm landing on San Diego here.
Yeah, I think it's all about San Diego's defense. And they showed up in their game against Denver. They played a near perfect game at Denver the last time, and they certainly showed up last weekend in Cincinnati.
Yes, hopefully they don't play as they did against the Kansas City Junior Varsity squad in the first quarter. Let me go ahead and make this official. All right, double pick. Brady is on the over. I am on your San Diego Superchargers seat. Williams, keep your chin tucked low and your head up high. Your Chargers should well be competitive in this game. We may well take a flyer on these Chargers to go over 21.5 team total points if you want to combine both picks together. I do think that Denver's going to put up points for the Chargers to cover. They, too, are going to have to go ahead and put up points. I think they'll be aggressive. Phillip Rivers is not an elite quarterback, but he's certainly a top 10 quarterback. He has the weapons to keep this game competitive. And I worry about Peyton Manning and the tremendous pressure that is on him. He doesn't have a lot of years to make this up. He goes down in this game. He's going to be 39 next year. And just imagine your entire career is going to be evaluated. If he goes to the Super Bowl this year, even if he loses, I think they're going to say, hey, he was arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But if he doesn't get back to the Super Bowl, I think there's a little bit of Peyton Manning becomes the best regular season quarterback of all time, and absolutely not even in the discussion with Brady. I don't want that kind of pressure. Give me the Chargers plus the 10.
Sounds good. Like we were talking about earlier, I think this game will just be more competitive than the line may suggest.
Yes, very much so. And, normally I like to play on more of the ancillary derivatives, prop bets and stuff. We wanted to do one video in a game where we like the side and the total. But now in our next game, we're going to go ahead and talk about betting some derivatives. And I have a prop bet on that one. So stay with us at pregame.tv. We're going to be breaking down a little bit on the Carolina-San Francisco game and a prop I very much like. Stay with us, pregame.tv.